one thing I've learned is that as long as you are able to prove that you're otherwise, then you don't have a problem.
So now that we've heard the beautiful parts of why you chose Malaysia, let's be real about things. Being a Nigerian citizen at first, we are very sure that you've gone through certain discrimination, not nice things that have happened. If you'd like to share, the space is all yours.
Well, personally, as I said, Malaysia is an awesome place. But despite how great and nice the country is, when we talk about the people are very friendly. They're very, very loving people. But when you come across unexposed people, when you come across people who haven't probably gotten the opportunity to live abroad, or maybe haven't gotten an opportunity to have proper relationships with foreigners, there's a saying that, there's always fear over what you don't know.
Yeah.
So at times when, they come across Africans in general, they always have a very a negative mindset at times. And this mindset is not because they choose to be racist or they choose to discriminate, but it's particularly due to lack of exposure and lack of being able to, or lack of familiarity with some of us Africans. So they come with the wrong mindset of assumption, whereby when you see an African, you probably assume he's maybe from a poor background, or you assume he's illiterate, or most times, because of the few bad apples, you might even think they're scammers. So it puts you at a point of disadvantage when you have first impression. When you meet certain people at work, when you meet certain people in school, there's always a bit of challenge in having a very transparent relationship, because they always come with that inferiority complex, whereby they assume that you come from a weak or a challenging background, so they feel or they look at you in a very helpless way. So I know it's not intentional. I know they don't do it because they want to show or be discriminating, but it comes around for someone who's a foreigner in a very unwelcoming way. Because at times it might be challenging in the place of work. Even sometimes in university, you do sense that sense of energy whereby you can tell that due to the fact that this person hasn't had an African for a friend or hasn't been abroad to be exposed, they tend to be very withdrawn in their character. And it could be seen as like a source of racism. But that's a challenge I've been going through for a while. But to be very frank, one thing I've learned is that as long as you are able to prove that you're otherwise, then you don't have a problem. Because I went through that problem with everyone, including my in-laws. It's always the mindset whereby they're wondering, are you for real? Are you a good person? Are you trying to take advantage of people? Because that's what they hear, that's what they see.
Yeah.
That's the information. The misinformation creates that mindset that makes them to have fear, and the fear comes up like dislike sometimes. So
easy that the media paints the Nigerians in a bad light, also with all the scams. So that
exactly the few bad apples, I would say. I do know there are a few people that are doing illegal businesses and are doing a lot of stuff that I know the government would not permit, but those actions, happen to have a huge impact on a bigger community, because there are lots of us who come here for school, lots of us who come here for business and work. Like me personally, I have an opportunity to even go back to the UK. My family just got a green card last month, and they all moved to the States. All my family's now in the States. But despite having that opportunity, I still choose to be Malaysian. Why? Because if I'm going to run away from racism, I believe there's racism everywhere in the world. So it still comes down to me being able to express myself accurately to these people and show that not only am I legit, not only am I honest, not only am I truthful, but I come from a background that they can trust. So eventually I do find out that, they do come around when they get to know you, when they get to see or talk to you, find out you're not so illiterate like they think you are. But the whole experience, it is quite a challenge, I must say.
Wow. Thanks for sharing and opening up, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Now, through your words and through the things that you've been saying, it really does sound like over the years, you've really grown extremely fond of Malaysia.
Obviously, I'm sure you've had that talk with your partner about children. So with all these amazing good and bad Malaysian traits that we have, are there any traits that you would like to pass down onto your children?
Malaysian traits.
Oh.
Well, as usual, everywhere in the world, there's always advantages and disadvantages, you know. And something about Malaysia that I would say I love, that in all my experience of living in different parts of the world, I would say it's very unique about Malaysia. It's the unity they have as a family. Look, everywhere in the world, look, we have families everywhere. Everyone has their own way of bonding. That's for sure. But one thing I noticed about Malaysians is that their family bonding is a different type here. It's a kind of a close-knit unity you have, whereby no matter where the members of the family are placed in the world, whenever you have traditional or celebration events, they always have that reunion all the time. Now, I'm not saying you don't have that other parts of the world, but in Malaysia, I find it more consistent. That tradition of being able to keep the family together despite wherever they're placed, geographical locations, their jobs, or even sometimes different ethnic backgrounds, they still come together and have that meetup once or twice a year. It's unique. And that's a trait I would love to pass around wherever I find myself in the world. Why? Because when I noticed it with the Malaysians, it was something that made me look forward to want to have it as my own family values. Nice. Having such a connection with my family that no matter how old, no matter where we were, we still had that togetherness. So for sure, Malaysia is definitely one place that I got to see that kind of love and reunion.
Nice.
Wow.